to maintain 2074.
Who am I?
Comet 504, descend to maintain 3000. 3000, Comet 504.
And for Captain 724, reserve capacity, Nevada.
In my 20s, I dream of flying a plane. Due to having glasses, I thought it's not possible. In mid-2016, I started to have foggy vision. After I checked out, the doctor said I have cataract in both my eyes. Wow! I really never expected this. I felt like taking a trip to the moon, jumping up and down. I'm filled with excitement. But the unexpected turns out into my reality. The cold, hard truth. I need to step into divorce. My mom said her final goodbye, and my family broke apart. I stepped into a solitude journey. This is the best journey I ever experienced. It was super challenging. My achievement, the award-winning author, from housewife to pilot, the beginning.
Comet 504, descend to maintain 3000. 3000, Comet 504.
I'm Keiko. I'm here holding your hands, guiding you every steps to discover your potential, harness that energy, bring it to your reality, and make your dreams come true.
Comet 504, reduce speed of 170 per tower space. You get following Boeing 727, 1 o'clock, 6 miles right base, descending on 3500.
Welcome to Tuesday with Keiko. Today, my guest speaker is Christine Lester. Christine began her career in learning and development. 30 years ago, founding her first training company in 1996. In 2001, she launched her second business, which focuses on supporting and inspiring entrepreneurs, especially women, to pursue their business ventures. For the past 9 years, Christine has worked extensively across Europe on Erasmus projects, collaborating with partners from Spain, Italy, Germany, Turkey, France, the Netherlands, Finland, Romania, Bulgaria, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and more. Her projects have spanned diverse areas including leadership, business development, empowerment, and innovations for women, disabilities rights, civil society, health, education and training, and active citizenship. Passionate about knowledge exchange, Christine is also preparing to leave her legacy through the creation of a knowledge base. Welcome, Christine.
Welcome. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Christine, share with the audience a little bit about yourself.
Oh, gosh, that could take some time. Very, very briefly. My father was in the forces, in the Air Force. So we travelled a lot, missing school. I didn't sit what we call the 11 plus in the UK, which is what they guide your career on, your future career.
Yeah.
That meant when we came home from the Far East, they didn't know where I belonged. They didn't know where I fit into the education system.
I see.
So I left school at 15, and the career advisor said, well, you could work in Woolworths. Woolworths is the big store of the time. Or you could do a bit of hairdressing. I didn't fancy either of those things as a career. And I said to my father, can I go to university? And I remember to this day his words. He said, I don't want to send you to university. It will cost me money. You're a woman. You'll end up getting married and having children, and I won't get my money back. So in the end, he said, well, okay, I'll let you go to college for 12 months to learn shorthand and typing. I thought, oh, okay. So to cut a long story short, I went to college, I got my qualifications, I started work, and I gradually climbed the ladder to a fairly good PA job with a ADC to the Queen. So I got to do quite some important work. But I thought that was as far as I would go. Then, of course, I met my husband.
Yeah.
Then finally, I had my son, and I wanted to stay at home, look after him for a few years till he started school. Then I went back to work, and I did a bit of secretarial work. I went to work in the NHS, again as a secretary or PA. I did that for a few years. And then I went to work at a hospice. And everybody said that was a backward step, because a hospice means end of life to people who go there.
Yes.
But I worked for a very, very brilliant lady. And I have to say, ladies all have affected my life, and she did. I asked her to do a staff appraisal on me because nobody had ever done one, and I didn't know what my skills were really. So she did a staff appraisal on me, and at the end she said, I think the world of you. You're a marvellous PA, but you have to move. You have to go. And I said, but I don't want to go. These were my nurses. This is my team I worked with. I didn't want to leave them. But a couple of months later, I happened to see an advertisement for a job that was more money with less hours. And I thought, oh, I'd go for that. Met another great lady who came to interview me. And she said, I don't want to give you that job. And I thought, oh, okay. So I started to get up and leave. And she said, no, I want you, I sit down. I want to give you a job. And I said, really? She said, yes, I want you to teach. And I said, I can't teach. I said, what am I going to teach? And she said, you're going to teach what you know. I said, oh, which is what? She said, communication and business administration.
Wow, it seems like she see through you.
Yes. I said, but I'm not qualified. I don't have a qualification as a teacher. How could I teach? And she said, I send you to college. You go to college and you get a qualification as a teacher. I thought, wow, this is sounding good. So anyway, to cut a long story short again, I stayed there until Margaret died quite suddenly. And we lost our way a bit as a college, I must say. So I and the lady who had been the head of academics, we started up our own small company, which is Minster, as you see behind me.
Yeah.
We were only a partnership, and we were trying to compete with universities and colleges, which wasn't a very good idea. So after 12 months, she decided to go, left me on my own. So we talked earlier about having to make decisions. I had to make a decision. Could I go forward on my own and do things that I wanted to do, or would I have to fail as well? So I thought, no, I'll keep going. And after a year or so, I got the chance to meet people like Charles Handy and Anita Roddick and Prue Leith, who's still working, and she's still one of the greatest cooks in the world. They'd started an organisation called Tomorrow's Company. So I spent 5 years with them learning what actually makes the company of tomorrow. What does it need to be that idea? So after that, I was trying to do some visionary work, which nobody else seemed to be ready for. It was too advanced. So somebody said to me, oh, you need to go to Europe. If you want to be visionary, you have to go and work in Europe. I said, oh. So anyway, I went to Spain to a introductory meeting, and I picked up loads of work. I picked up 4 years' work straight away. So that started me off. After that, I did 25 years worth of projects on all the subjects that you read out at the beginning. Now, all that knowledge has to go somewhere. I don't want to leave it. It's still relevant. It's still about people. It's still about organizations. It's about intergenerational learning. What do we learn from our ancestors? And I want to do more of that. But of course, along came Brexit. And now the UK can't do much in Europe. But I'm hopeful that we are going back. I'm working, campaigning hard to get us back into Europe. So that's right up to date where I am at the moment.
Yeah, Brexit really affects a lot of things. Yeah.
Yes. But attitudes are changing. Attitudes are realising now that we shouldn't have made the decision that we made 6 years ago, that we do belong in Europe. And the Prime Minister is working hard to try and decide what that relationship actually looks like.
Yeah.
And when he does, I will be ready. I will be ready to go back. I've still kept my European friends.
Yeah, I guess
They communicate with me every day. Every day I hear from these
I guess is perhaps UK is the first pioneer to show what is the difference with that relationship with Europe. There are a couple of countries they have the thought also, and now that they see what happened to UK, so if the rest of the country they have the thought, they'll have a consideration whether to take that step or not. It's like the combination of all the different countries together, and they come together to make a decision. And if let's say one of them out of the group, there will be consequences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a group of students at the moment in Paris that want some help scoping what they're doing. And that's when I can act now as an advisor. I can advise other people in the European countries, and they can use some of my knowledge, because I always look at, whenever somebody comes to me and says, can you help us? I look to see what have I done that is relevant to what they need.
Yes.
And they're welcome to it. I really think knowledge doesn't belong to the person that generated it. Knowledge has to be what we say codified, and then it has to be disseminated. Because what's the point of generating it all if you don't disseminate it? It's got to go out there. It's got to make a difference.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's what I'm passionate about. Before I fall off my perch, as we say, I want to make sure that the knowledge that I've generated is fit for purpose and can go out there.
Yeah, that's
to that end, I'm building a knowledge base. That's taking all my time at the moment.
That's so important.
I want people to sign up to it and say that it's interesting and that's what they want to see. And then when I know that, then I'm going to put more out there. I'll put case studies out there. And
I think case studies
did.
Yes, I think case studies will be very useful. Yeah, because there is experience from another person's.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I've got videos, I've got photographs, I've got everywhere we've ever been. We videoed the project meetings, presentations. I've got tons of stuff. And it has to be in a repository somewhere. You can't just one day when I, as I say, fall off my perch, my computer gets switched off and it wiped clean. It's gone. It's no longer there.
Yeah, you have to store it somewhere.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. That's my passion at the moment, is to store it so that people can access it and use it.
That's right.
Next question.
How you cope with the journey of transformation in your life? Because I understand that you've been through a separate transformation.
I think I think of it as transformation every time somebody comes with something new.
Yeah.
If a new group of people come and say, can we talk to you? Then I start and think, what's their vision? Where are they going? What help will they need on the journey? And how can I help? And as I say, I look at, in the first place, I will diagnose, I do a proper diagnosis of where they are. And then I'll look at what can I add to that diagnosis. Me, my two organisations, and the people I network with, hundreds of people I network with
Yeah.
on a
That's
regular
a whole
basis
lot.
every
Yes.
day. I'm putting
Yes.
articles out there and people respond.
That's
We've
right.
had a moan this morning, 2 or 3 times on LinkedIn, about, you know, what we think about what's going on in the world, and what we want to do and what we are doing. And I think all that adds to your global vision. We shouldn't be insulated, and we shouldn't be, you know, one tiny little country somewhere. We're global. I want to see what the rest of the world's doing. I'm working with a lovely lady in Mauritius, and she's helping at the moment, and she's job shadowing me. So I'm working with almost every country. There's not many countries. Australia, I'm doing some coaching and mentoring. The world's an open door. It isn't. We're not closed down any longer. And there are certain countries that would like us to close down, but then they're going to suffer in the end because they won't have the knowledge. If we've got knowledge that we're generating, and it's nearly all the countries in the world, then the few that are going it alone will not have that knowledge, far less than we have. So that's why I think things like Europe and working with the States and relationships with the Far East. I've got a lot of friends in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, it's just amazing, the people that I reach.
Yes.
So yes, you're right, it is a transformation, but everything you do is some kind of transformation.
That's right. And how you step into a breakthrough?
Well, as I say, diagnosis, it's like hitting a brick wall, and you know, you've got to take it out brick by brick, haven't you?
Yes.
So it's about advising, doing a diagnosis and seeing where people are, and looking at what they want to achieve at the end of the day. Where are they aiming for? And some people don't know where they're going. They come with the most wonderful vision, but they have no idea how they're going to do it. What are the steps towards what their actual objectives are? So that's my first thought, really, is where are you trying to get to, and what is it you want to do with it? I just love anybody coming with something different. So if they think it's different, then it probably is. And I just love that part of being an advisor. It's trying to think where they're going, and how are they going to make the breakthrough. It's not just up to me. I can't do it alone.
Yes.
It's a teamwork.
That's right.
They either
It is
trust
teamwork.
me. They trust me to think things through. And sometimes I suggest something to them, a pathway, but it's up to them whether they take it or not. Because again, it's not my project, it's their project. It's what they want to achieve. Not me.
That's right. And how you gain clarity of what you love doing?
Again, it's advising. I did I must share this one with you. I had to be a bit careful because it's quite relevant even today. 25 years ago, I had someone came to me and said, could I do a diagnosis of well, first of all, could I train a young adult in management in a cathedral? And I said, well, yes, I can, but it would be expensive to train one person. So he happened to look around and saw that I do investors in people, and qualified in that. And he said, oh, you do investors in people? I said, yes. He said, could you change our culture? Could you change our culture in the Church of England? And I said, well, I'll have a go at it. Yeah. I said, if you'll help, if you'll be the internal champion. So we did. we changed. We had the support of a wonderful dean at the time,
Mm-hmm.
who was very brave, and he said, yes,
Yeah.
okay, if you think you can change my organisation, and my organisation has been going for since 1100. Yeah, let's do it. So we did, and it still stands as, I think, a wonderful way to change the culture of an organisation.
So that is really amazing.
You can do it. They can change if they want to change.
Yeah, that is really amazing. I mean, you did it because just like this Notre Dame in Paris, they had the fire recent year, and they have to rebuild everything.
Yes.
And yes, I mean, it's like right now, the material that they are able to make is very different from in the past.
Yes.
Yeah, they can basically use the old method to build those material.
Yes.
And it is interesting to watch that documentary. I was watching that documentary that they rebuilt the rooftop, and they rebuilt the wall, the destruction area. So yes, I guess we are able to change it, but it takes time.
Yeah, it took me working on that particular project. It took me 5 years.
Yeah.
To get to where they wanted to be.
Yes.
And you have to get the support of people, because you can't make change if people don't want to change.
So
and
true.
Sometimes you can get change from the top, but really the better way is to get the change from the bottom. Get people from the bottom to bring about that change. And I think whereas 25 years ago it was hard, really hard to get any group of people from the bottom to make a change. Now, thank goodness, we've got community, and we've got real community with power. They've got a voice. And whether we like it or not, we have to admit that social media has brought that voice. Because now people can club together, they can talk about what they want to do and how they want to do it. And then they can actually go out and do it. And they make the politicians listen. In the end, the politicians have to listen to what the community is saying, because it's actually the community that's electing them.
Yeah, the community make the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I belong to campaigning groups where we see things are wrong. We all get together and we say, right, we're going to form a committee. We're going to get some money in. We have GoFundMe, to get a bit of money in to do what we want to do. And then the people all get together. And gradually a group in one part of the country hears about what the group somewhere else is doing. So they get together, and then before you know it, it's like, I call it the strawberry effect. Strawberries grow along the bottom. They don't grow upwards. They have to, if they're going to train to go upwards, then they have to be trained to go upwards. But normally strawberries will grow along the ground.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the effect of community. When the community takes action, it becomes like the strawberry plant, and it grows along the ground, and it generates, and it's very powerful. And I love that. I love the fact that community can change, the outward look of a country if it wants to.
Yeah.
A lovely professor in Turkey some years ago, when I was on a project meeting there, I think I got quite passionate, as I've just got with you. And he looked at me very quietly and he said, I think I'd describe you as a social terrorist. And I said, really? And then I thought about it for a few minutes and I said, I'll take that, yes. But he was being serious. So, social terrorist you are.
Perhaps I'm just like you.
You're a social terrorist as well.
Perhaps. Yeah, I guess because of if we have the leadership within us, we will want our idea to be heard. It depends on your whether you are a dominance or you're a influential,
Mm.
that also plays a part. Because like
Yes.
for people that is influential, they are able to influence others. So if let's say they have a plan, they are able to influence a group of people to come together and say, yes to a
Mm.
project. But if a person that is dominance, a dominance person will not be able to influence like someone that is influencer.
Mm.
So it all depends on our quality, what kind of quality we have within us.
Yeah.
And if you recognize that, it will be easier to work your way forward.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
it's difficult sometimes to get people to follow because, and I think
it
also
is.
nowadays people are a lot more suspicious of intentions.
Yeah,
But
it
once it seems
depends
that
on
your
it.
intentions are good,
Yes, and it really depends on that person whether he's a influencer, because
mm,
an influencer is good at putting the context, the right text in that
mm,
message. Because if
yes,
you put the wrong text in the message, no people is going to listen to you.
no.
Yeah, if you put the right text in the
I mean, people
message,
disagree with me. Quite often on social media, people will say, "Oh, you've got it wrong. You're not, you're
mm,
not." I
yeah,
feel passionately
it,
about a lot of things that
yeah.
I think we're losing.
It is, how shall I put it? Everybody's perspective is different. If someone that resonates with you, like for example, both of us, I guess from now we see both of us we resonate with each other, and we agree with things that we brought up. But if you come to someone that is not at the same vibration,
Mm,
whatever that person says, it will not resonate. You can
no,
put in so much effort and persuade that person. No, it will not resonate.
no, no.
And that is how things works because of vibration. Because when if you got the chance, read the book from Dr. Hawkins,
Yes,
The Power versus Force.
yes,
That is an amazing book. And once you
yeah,
understand the
yeah.
vibration, you will know there's no point wasting your time and energy in talking to someone that doesn't resonate with you.
No, no.
Yeah,
That's true. No,
yeah.
that's very true.
Like
I
one
beg.
of my one of my guest speaker, Andy, he told me, he said, yeah, well, I can say a lot of things, but if someone disagree with me, and that person won't understand what is energy healing
Mm,
and how will the result of energy healing uh, bring someone to a level that that person able to break through to reach a certain level.
mm, mm.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with him. I told him, I said, because for me, it's like I stepped into a spiritual awakening journey. So whatever he said, yeah, I understand what he's saying.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
someone comes to, yeah, if let's say someone comes to me and if that person is based on ego and didn't understand about spiritual stuff, because everything is connected.
Mm,
And before I didn't understand why is it, people said everything is connected. And when I stepped into the spiritual awakening journey, then I realized everything is actually connected.
mm.
And it's because of, everybody is vibrating at a different level. And
Yes.
that is why, if you want to, like, for example, if I have in mind to create the huge project, I need to uh, attract the right people into my reality.
Yes.
attract. I have to use attract. I can't approach. Because when I approach, I am chasing. So there's no way when you chase, things will not come to you when you chase.
No.
Yeah, when you attract, yes, people, things will automatically come to you.
Yes, I got a lady who well, she designed my backdrop for me.
Ah,
Yeah. And I said to her, well, that's very kind of you. She said, oh, I'll do it for you. And I said, well, that's very kind of you. I said, how much do I owe you? And she said, nothing. I said, no, come on. I you know, you've used your time and you've done something for me.
yes,
How much do I owe you? And she said, look, every time I do something for someone, I get something back in return somewhere else. I
yeah, that
thought,
is
what
so
a lovely
true.
way of looking at it.
That is so true.
Yes.
That is actually very true because it's like for example, like my Andy, he told me, whoever that you owe money to, you better clear that off. And I
Yes.
told him, yes, I did clear my debts before I stepped into business because I understand this law. This is all energy, and you don't want those energy that is uh, unresolved
Mm,
to be attached to you.
no.
Yeah,
No.
that is sort of
It's
like
the
the
same.
unhealthy.
It's the same with me with anything
Mm,
I owe in the business.
yeah.
I settle immediately. I
Yes.
know I could wait 90 days and not pay them,
Mm,
but I think no, it's down to my credibility, isn't it? Um,
yes.
because if I pay someone immediately, then next time I ask for their help, I'll get their
Yes.
help again because they know I
That's
pay
right.
them straight away.
Yeah.
So again, it's part of you know my vision, my purpose. What am I here for?
Mm,
Why am I in
yes.
business? It's
True.
not. I'm not in business because I have a commodity or something to sell. It's because I'm
Yeah.
helping people. I'm making a difference.
Yes, it is.
So
And
it's
like
about, yes, it is. You're quite right. It's about
mm,
your what's the word for?
credibility.
Yes, your credibility and your
Yeah.
knowledge. Uh,
Yes. And also like, business, we understand business, there's ups and downs.
mm,
And when you're down, you need help. And that is where people will help you.
yes.
Yeah. If you
Yes,
say one is one, then people
I've
will
got
help you.
some wonderful friends who are like mentors to me, but they don't
Yeah.
charge me. Somebody
Mm.
said to me this morning, we're having a catch up next week with him, and I will have a catch up about once every couple of months.
Mm.
And I know
That's
he's not been
nice.
very well.
Mm.
So I said, are you okay? And he said, yes, I'm okay. He said, we'll have a
Mm.
catch up next week. I said, right, okay. And I said, well, it's very good of you. And he said, no, it's friends. It's
Mm.
friends. And he will
That's
listen to me.
lovely.
I have a moan and a whinge, and and
Yeah.
then he'll say, right, okay, I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Like, recently I had a dinner with a friend, and yeah, she paid for the meal and just nice. Another friend, she wants to sell her shop. She's looking for someone. She want to sell away the shop.
Mm,
I remember, I had the meal with this friend, and she has connection with a lot of people. So I called her, I contacted her, and get her to come and see the place. And I I buy a box of chocolate for her because I knew that she gave me a treat.
mm,
So this time when I see her, I buy a chocolate for her. It is like I think it is good that we maintain that better relationship
mm.
because you never know. In future, I might need her, or in future she might need me. You never know when it comes to business.
No, no.
Yeah.
Well, you
So
never know what somebody else is going through either, do you? You don't know
that's right.
what's
Yeah.
going on in their personal life and when they need help.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's right.
so, I mean, I do tend to think of my business acquaintances as friends.
Mm.
Although they're a business friend,
Mm.
they're still a friend, and I try and treat them as I expect
Yeah.
them to treat me.
That's
I
right.
don't like it when people don't treat me well.
Yeah, me too. I don't like it when people don't treat me well.
No.
So
No.
I treat people well, and I would love that, people would treat me well also, and treat me with respect too. I
Yes.
mean, for me, it's like why I decided to step into business is also because I saw my mom step into Alzheimer's journey. To be a caretaker of an Alzheimer's patient, it is really challenging.
Yes.
It's not easy.
No.
And I understand that, and that is why, although I was put in the as an observer position. Observer is even harder because you see
Yes.
the both, right?
Yes.
You see the ugly side of human being, you see the nice side of human
That's
being.
true.
So
That
you
is
have
true.
to
Yes.
you have to find balance in these two sides. No one wants to be a bad person. It is
No.
just that because of situation get
I do
us.
think though that we get confused between um, whether we're a strong person. A strong
Mm,
person can still have the heart.
yes.
Doesn't mean to say because they're strong and they can make perhaps bold decisions when it's needed. Doesn't mean to say they don't feel
Yeah.
for people who result from that decisions. I mean, often employers will have to make people redundant, and I think that's one of the hardest things to do as a
This is
leader
because
is
they
to have to
face.
let people go.
Yeah, I guess it's also because of employer, they will face that kind of situation where they are in financial difficulty. They have to cut the expenses. For me, when I start my business, I invest in most of my money in self development,
Mm,
and I never thought of what's ahead.
mm,
And right now, I'm not in a great place financially. I have to build from zero,
mm,
and that is where, yeah, all those consideration
yes,
all has to comes into the picture. So how do you treat this person? How do you treat that person? Yeah, because it's like not every. I mean, it's like everyone is pushed to a certain situation,
yes,
and take for example, if someone is not in that space where they have a place that they can call home, yeah, that is not a nice place to be. But to understand stability is important. we need
yes.
we we need stability,
Well,
and
also,
stability
or,
comes with you need to pay the bill.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, employers um, have a contract to be sustainable, because if they're not
Mm,
sustainable, then they don't stay in business, and then if they don't stay in
yeah.
business, then they let the employees down. So it's almost a transition
Yes, it is.
downwards.
Yeah.
That if you're not, again, if you're not a strong employer and you can't see the hurdles ahead,
Mm.
um, and act on those hurdles, then yes, you risk the not just losing the business yourself, but you lose other people's livelihood is gone as well.
Yeah, that is so true. I mean, I'm so glad, I'm one person business, which this journey let me learn so much things.
Mm,
It's like let me learn more than the seven aspects of life, because the seven basic aspects: spiritual, intellectual, finance, family, social, environment. These are
yes.
the seven basic aspects. Not everyone understand how to balance everything.
Well, I think again, people are perfect, are they? People can be working towards any of those headings that you've just read out, but they won't
But
succeed at all of them.
we are working as the whole earth.
Mm,
And over here, you can see in Europe they keep everything, that they keep the air clean, but then in Africa the clothings are piling up by the beach. That is not balance.
No.
Yeah, and basically it's like, how are we going to balance all these 7 aspects? The
I
whole
read
world.
somewhere this morning that in 10 years' time,
Mm.
we will run out of places to put the plastic that we
Yeah,
generate every day.
that's right.
In
It's
10 years'
huge.
time,
It's
are we
huge.
going to have to find another planet? or
Yeah.
can we perhaps parcel up all our plastics and send them to the moon? I
Yes,
don't know.
the plastics is really huge problem, because it's like now it turns into microplastics, and
Mm,
microplastics, we are eating it, we are
yes.
digesting it in our stomach, and basically it's like, all those cosmetics, they are using microplastics.
Mm,
Some cosmetics, they said no, they are not using microplastic, but some they do. They don't have a choice.
no.
And
No.
because microplastics now is like, everywhere in the sea, you can find in the sea, and
Yes.
all are being digest in all the sea animal, prawns, fish, and you can't basically clean that out. There's no way you can clean that out.
No.
And also microplastics in honey. Because
Mm,
over here in the Netherlands, they have this program that they show, like for example, honey, and they actually bring it to the lab to do the test, and indeed there is microplastic in the honey.
mm,
And how are you going to get rid of that? There's no way to get rid of it, because
no.
they still haven't invented a system to remove the microplastics.
No.
Because microplastic is too small. I don't know how small. It could be like a size of a germs,
Mm.
and that is like we can't detect with our naked eyes.
I've seen some new companies set up where they're reusing plastic. They take
Yeah.
plastic that's been redundant, let's say
Mm.
it's already been used and it's being thrown away, and they turn it into something else so that it's reusable.
Mm.
But then you come to the same stage. Well, so what do you do when
Yeah.
that needs replaced?
Yes, they come to the
Recycled
same stage,
somewhere.
and that program that I watched, they said they actually add more plastic in to produce new
Mm,
plastic. So yeah, because it's like the old plastic, perhaps is like it will not hold anything.
mm,
You get what I mean? Like for example, a cup is able to hold the water inside the cup, and perhaps it's not strong to hold. Maybe it's like paper. When
mm,
you fill water, and then the paper will just be torn. So they need to add more plastics in
mm.
to create that object.
It's a whole new universe,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is.
Of
It is.
what we do to the
Mm,
planet, and how I mean, you can go to the shop and you collect something, you get it home, and actually it's
mm,
got three different types of packaging before you get to the product.
true.
It might be cardboard on the outside, and then plastic, and
Mm,
then more plastic.
yeah.
And I think, well, why do they? Years ago, we just had things in brown paper. We
Mm,
didn't have all this cardboard and packaging and plastic covers.
yeah.
It just came paper wrapped.
And
Uh,
actually, in the 60s, 70s, they come up with glass bottle. I think glass is ideal
yes.
ideal way to storage things, but the disadvantage is it breaks easily.
Mm,
Yeah, so it's like when it breaks, yeah, of course, as a company, you will lose a lot of money in the breakage.
yes. Yes, it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Oh, we
yeah,
don't have the
it's
answer
really
yet, do we?
no, we don't have the answer yet. I guess
Anyway, we've digressed. You're still
that's,
recording this.
that's right. And okay, then one last question: what is the takeaway for our viewers?
Oh gosh, I thought of something and I forgot what it is now. Uh, Oh yes. I think for me it's knowledge. It's
Yeah.
valuing the knowledge that we generate, as I said earlier. How are we capturing it? How are we codifying it? And how are we
Yes.
disseminating it for the future? It's only knowledge that will save us. It's only knowledge that will solve the questions that you and I have talked about today. It's only the knowledge, generating the knowledge to how are we going to solve these questions.
True.
Somebody has to work on that. Somebody has to have the knowledge to get to the answers. So I think to me
True.
it's about knowledge.
Yeah, that's a great message. We
That's
appreciate
a
your
good ending,
time.
isn't it? You can use that for the ending. I am what I am.
That's right. That's right. We appreciate your time and expertise. Where can our audience find you?
Where can they? Oh gosh, I'm all over the place. I'm on YouTube. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over. I've got various groups on Facebook that I use to keep in touch with people. And I think
Yes.
if you Google me, you'll find me on something or other.
Fantastic. We'll be sure to include those links in the YouTube description box. Thank you once again for being with us today. It's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure. It's been very
Yeah.
natural. We've wandered from one subject to another. It's been fantastic. I wish
Yeah,
you well.
and to our audience, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this interview, please subscribe and leave us a review or share it with others who might find it interesting. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye all.